Live from New York, let's break some up. You're listening to Shatter the Glass with your sister from another mister, Yonne.
Hey, y'all. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I wanted to go live because this weekend has been a lot of things, right? I went to TSP, which is called Traffic Sales and Profit, and they had their conference this weekend, 2023 game plan, and it was great. It was something that I personally needed. So I can be transparent about my own business because it was something that I needed. Those of you who know me in the personal light, you know I've been through a lot in 2020, right? Um, Lost a lot, added on into my life by having a baby. So many things. So a lot of stuff, a lot of things happened. However, this conference was very informative. It was very embracing, and I just loved it. It was amazing to be in a room that was high energy driven and had people that looked just like me from different backgrounds, of course, but that looked like me, that were entrepreneurs who were doing 6 and 7 figures. And so community does matter, right? But who, in the words of Mr. Rogers, who are the people in your neighborhood? Who are the people in your community? Because that matters. Shout out to Lamar and Ronnie Tyler because they built a community that is high energy driven. And they host their own awards, awarding people who made it to 6 and 7 figures. That was part of their mastermind. I think that was beautiful. I think that's awesome. I think that we need to do more with celebrating, right? Because it's a journey. Anybody who owns a business, it's a journey. And it's a hardcore relationship with what you love to do, what you want to do, and who you get to do it with based on who's your target audience and so forth. And so I wanted to just share a couple of takeaways because I do believe that investing in yourself needs to be something that we discuss more and that we do more. And I remember my first time investing in myself, and I was just like Whoopi Goldberg in the movie what is it, Ghost or whatever, when she had to give over the check and she didn't want to give up the check, and her and the nun is going back and forth like, I don't want to give up this check. No, girl, you got to give up the check. I don't want to give up the check. That was me. And I'm so happy that I got off of that and jumped into another coach's community where I was definitely embraced, loved on, served, and so forth. But I made a lot of friends, a lot of sister friends, and a lot of those women are some of you who are watching or will watch later and stuff like that. And you guys know that we met through that way, that channel. And then we all was in somebody else's group and became a really tight knit sisterhood and stuff like that over these years. And shout out to that group as well. And so, this group is a different group, but they're all related because one thing I learned in the space so far since for the last 7 years is that the community um, has some great people involved, but some of these communities cross over because greatness is following greatness. And so, something I took away from this weekend was definitely, be open. I brought one of my staff members with me because I wanted her to experience uh, what this weekend could offer and see what it looked like. I also wanted her to hear what I was hearing and also take in that information so that we could have a deep, in-depth conversation about growing my brand and business, right? And as well as I wanted for her to learn about growing her brand in business because she does have one. And so, what are those mechanisms? And I know most people will be like, what, are you crazy? You took somebody with you that's trying to do their own business and they're supposed to be working for you? Absolutely. Because I want people around me who are trying to grow, period. And I needed her to be in the room and hear those conversations so that she had a deeper understanding of what I'm facing and what I want to do, as well as taking nuggets and things for herself. Because none of people don't stay at jobs forever. People do go and grow. And if anything, I want her to prosper as well. So being open, having an open mind, taking it in, um, and being open to things you know, but may not even implement, and being open to things that you don't know and probably should implement. And so that was one deep takeaway for myself is to put myself back in this space of being open, and learning again, learning more, learning in depth and being more in depth, right? No more surface stuff. Two, being present. You can't be open without being present. And so I wanted to make it my business to make sure I showed up and participated and did what I had to do. And so that meant bringing my baby along and making sure my baby was in the room because nothing was going to stop me from getting this information that I needed to hear, learn, rejuvenate, reconnect, to build out bigger, better. And I don't have a problem with seeing children in these spaces because they're the next generation. And if you're building something and you want to be able to pass it on, whether your child wants it or not, they got to still understand what you do, right? And so even if we build a business and our children don't want to work the business, they can still sit at the table of ownership over the business and hire who they need to continue to run it, but they got to know the back ropes to it. And so for that, being fully present and, you know, I took away some points from Mr. Matthew Knowles or Dr. Knowles, um, with that too, right? He said, we don't do anything that the family's not involved in, and that spoke volumes. You see, we have plenty of conversations about building wealth and building these brands and building businesses and stuff like that. And you're building your team, but it's a whole nother beast when you can build your family around that. And so, even from him saying that, and then listening to the owners of Chick-fil-A, because I didn't know until like last month or so that Chick-fil-A was a family brand business that obviously is national, and how they make sure that you're not just getting the business because you're part of the bloodline. No, you are earning it and you're working in it to find out what you need to do to sustain it and maintain it. And then you can hire the managers and all this stuff. People have votes and all types of things. Really, really good deep. You can find their story online, from maybe I think even on YouTube or something. And it was very good, but it's about being present. And you can't learn if you're not present. And, um, with this conference, I could have decided to stay at home and learn online, but I said no, I wanted to get in the room because I needed to be present. If you're going to be doing anything seriously, you got to be present. And, I tell people that too when we're discussing goals and stuff. That hey, you got to be present for your goals. It's one thing to list it down on a piece of paper. It's another thing to get active with it. And so I want people to keep that in mind. The third thing I took off was making new connections, right? Continuously. A lot of people be like, I don't want no new friends. Trust me, I know because I am that person. Like, I'm good. I'm friendly and I like meeting people, but to call somebody a friend, it's a deeper relationship. But guess what? Like we just heard with Dr. Cassandra Bradford, relationship is currency too. And so you never know who you can help and who can help you if you're not out here building these connections and stuff. And so Dr. Knowles also said, if you leave this room and haven't made a connection with nobody, you a fool. Because 9 times out of 10, it's the connections that you make and the friendships that you make inside the room that helps propel you going further. And so I'll share that because people, we all need to make new connections, and be open and present in doing so. Right? It's all connected. It's all connected. The next one is, you're the brand, we're your brand. Now, I was taken away because I'm like, oh, let me just make sure I'm dressed professional. But then after listening and thinking some things through as he was talking, I was like, I'm never showing up in these spaces without wearing and rocking my brand, right? The suit or whatever that I'm wearing is somebody else's brand. No, I will be highlighting myself somewhere through the journey because it's important if you're in business to continue to put the message out there about your business. Nobody even knows you have a business. Now, sometimes it depends on the environment, of course. I'm not saying it should be your wardrobe every day, but it could be. It could be. And if that's what you want it to be, then so be it. I understand it. But definitely in these bigger spaces, when you're stomping around in other people's cities and states, rock your brand. Rock your brand. You are the brand. And so how you carry yourself, what you do, what you wear, how you look, all of that stuff is tied to you and your brand. And Dr. Cassandra was very funny about it, but it's true. Make sure, like, your colors and all that type of stuff is staying in alignment or whatever it is that you're showcasing. Because, again, it's a representation of you. My last but not least one is stay in high energy rooms. Like I said, I started off telling you the energy was so high in there. Felt great to be around and see people who are trying to figure it out, people who have figured it out, people who are sharing how to do it. I mean, the room was a base of support, a base of cheerleaders. And to see that there was almost 1,000 people in the room of Black businesses that are doing amazing was amazing, was amazing. And the energy of support and everything was high. Everybody's happy. Everybody's feeling good. Everybody's like, hey, what you do? This is what I do. Let's connect. Let's share. Da, 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 da. I'm sitting in there sharing information with women that I've never met a day in my life until this weekend. Some swapping personal stories and so forth. And I loved it. I loved every bit of it. And so staying in high energy rooms elevates you. That puts you in a deeper space, even spiritually, to get things off the ground and running. It puts you in tune. It helps you get in alignment. It helps you feel enthused to get into alignment. The struggle could be real, but it's based on perception as well. But it gives you the opportunity to get yourself together in high energy form and be able to go mass produce how you want to. And so for that, that's everything. And so shout out to them for really creating that space, them and their team that they have around them that obviously helped execute this whole vision for the weekend because it was everything. And this was my first conference where I saw people branded on the building, on the floors, and even the bathroom mirrors. Like that was a lot. I have never seen. We see Brandon, I see conference, you see the pinups and the tables and you know the merch or whatever. But when you see somebody's face on the building, like that's a whole nother level of playing. So shout out to them because I know it takes hard work to get to this point to be able to do what they do now. And they're doing it for other people. They're creating this space and this environment for Black families to thrive. And so I'm honored by that because, again, new mom. So I'm bringing this baby with me everywhere I go. And he's going to be taking in this information too. But I wanted to just share that. So if you're feeling like, oh, I don't know if I have the money to go to this place or that place, If it's going to help you in the future, you don't have to know all of the reasons how on the how, but if you know it can help you or will help you, go. Don't be scared to bet on yourself. Don't be scared to invest in yourself because when you do, you shrink your own goals. You shrink your own goals and you shrink your own dreams. And my advice to everybody is we have been in this weird, eerie feeling since 2020. And for us to get the best out of us, to be the most of ourselves, we got to shake all that crap off. We got to shake all of it off and get back into the centering around ourselves and what matters most to us. And, anybody bringing negative energy to you or not understanding you in this moment, make peace with them or take a break, space, whatever you got to do to realign yourself and get back to what is important, and that's your heart. And, do what's needed for you to succeed. So that's me sharing my tidbit about this week. And like I said, it was good, good. It was good, good. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to have been in the space in this moment, um, and being able to bring people with me, uh, family, staff, everything, to share in the experience because that will help shape how we even go forward. And so it matters. It matters. Find your tribe, find your place, and look into doing things that's going to support and build you. All right, that's enough. Time for me to go relax. But thank you for watching, catching a replay, whatever it is, how you catching it, to catch it. Take these nuggets and run with it. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening.